Wrestlers are skilled at staying in character, so you may not realize how hard it is for this tough-looking guy to keep up his act. Today, we'll learn about the sad, true story of the Iron Sheik. You probably know him as the Iron Sheik, but his real name is Hossein Khosrow Ali Vaziri. He has a great mustache, and some people heard he was a guy from Akron, Ohio who was good at doing accents. But this is not true at all. The book Pro Wrestling, a comprehensive reference guide by Lou Friedman, says that the Sheik actually grew up in Tehran, which is the capital of Iran. His wrestling character's title wasn't right because his family was poor. Hossein Khosrow Ali Vaziri was born in 1943 to a family that farmed pistachios. When he was young, he didn't have things like running water. However, his birth date was marked differently on his passport, reading March 15th, while he celebrated his birthday on September 9th. This was because his family followed both the Gregorian calendar and the solar Hijri calendar. During his early years, Khosrow greatly admired Gholam Reza Takiti, an Iranian Olympic gold medalist wrestler. Inspired by Takiti, Khosrow pursued a career in amateur wrestling and even served as a bodyguard for Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi and his family. Later on, he had to join the military. It was probably difficult, but he had enough time to improve his wrestling skills and even won the Army's wrestling championship. Vaziri was a Shia Muslim who, on March 21, 1976, wed an American woman named Carol Peterson. Unfortunately, in May of 2003, at the age of 26, his eldest daughter, Marissa Jean Vaziri, was murdered by her lover, Charles Warren Reynolds. So how did a guy from Iran become a big star in American wrestling? He was disappointed by the unclear cause of his hero's death. Iron Sheik got into wrestling because of a person named Gholam Reza Takiti, who was a gold medalist in freestyle wrestling at the Olympics. Takiti was very popular and lived in the same area as the future Iron Sheik. This made him a good example for Hossein Khosrow Ali Vaziri, who wanted to follow in his footsteps. He became a national high school wrestling champion just 3 years after starting to wrestle. Vaziri loved wrestling for many years, but the person who inspired him died unexpectedly. Takiti passed away in 1968. The reason given was that he had committed suicide. However, some people believe that he was killed because he was becoming too involved in politics. This event instilled fear for his own safety, prompting Khosrow to make the decision to immigrate to the United States in order to advance his wrestling career. Upon arriving in the U.S., he became an assistant coach for 2 American Olympic teams during the 1970s. In 1971, Khosrow earned recognition as the Amateur Athletic Union Greco-Roman Wrestling Champion and secured a gold medal in the 180.5-pound or 81.9 kilogram weight category. He later served as an assistant coach for the USA team during the 1972 Olympic Games in Munich. According to Lou Friedman's book Pro Wrestling, a comprehensive reference guide, being a well-known foreign villain in the 1980s was not a good thing. The Iron Sheik became popular by making people angry, but it had negative effects on his personal life. The Sheik was a very successful villain who made a lot of money. According to Yahoo Sports, he made up to $500,000 a year at his peak. This is equivalent to $1.2 to $1.6 million today, depending on the year and inflation. Sadly, receiving this money had a greater negative impact than just being booed every night. Many wrestling fans tried to attack or harm the Sheik. He told Vice about a time when he had to escape a place by hiding in an ambulance because he was scared of the crowds outside. He was scared for his family's safety, so he stopped taking them on trips. The Sheik was a great villain because he was from Iran, which made some people want to fight him. In 1979, some people in Iran took 52 Americans as prisoners for 444 days, and this made Iran look bad to Americans. The Iron Sheik was a great wrestler, even though he was known for playing a bad guy from another country in his matches. According to Bleacher Report, he used to participate in international tournaments frequently when he lived in Iran. Even after he moved to the United States, he continued to do well. He won a gold medal in the 1971 AAU Championship and 2 silver medals in the 2 years before that. He was a good wrestling coach and even helped the U.S. Olympic team as an assistant coach. The Sheik liked to show off his medals on TV, just like Kurt Angle did after him. Sadly, someone stole the Sheik's prizes from his hotel room in Newark, New Jersey. The Iron Sheik found it difficult to stop acting like his wrestling persona. The Iron Sheik probably enjoyed relaxing after a tough day of dealing with negativity from Americans by being himself instead of staying in character. Sadly, according to Bleacher Report, he had a hard time with this. In the 1970s, the Sheik was new to wrestling and had only done amateur wrestling before. He had a tough time accepting that pro wrestling was scripted. He said to his trainer, Vern Gagne, "This is the sport I love to do. I cannot pretend to be someone I'm not." It seems that the Sheik learned quickly. He got so good at pretending to be someone else that he would even act like that person when he wasn't working. It was a problem because the Iron Sheik was a wrestler who played a villain character in a silly way. Sometimes he would tell people what they could buy and eat while they were shopping in the supermarket. If you were suddenly confronted by the powerful Sheik during his prime, it would be similar to being ambushed by the MCU villain Thanos at Walmart and being scolded for buying too many microwave meals. The Iron Sheik was a wrestler who caused a lot of trouble in the ring. According to the Sportster, he is famous for ruining the idea of kayfabe. Kayfabe is a term used in wrestling to describe the way wrestlers maintain their image and keep the show entertaining. The good guys and bad guys in wrestling act their parts and avoid each other in public, even if they are friends in private. In 1987, the Sheik got into trouble with another wrestler named Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and this caused a problem for the idea. The two people were arrested for having drugs in their car while traveling to an event. They had marijuana and cocaine. This was reported by the Associated Press, and this was a problem. According to Bleacher Report, the issue was that Duggan and the Sheik were playing opposite roles as a good guy and bad guy, so they were seen in a car together, and that was bad. This created a big problem in the wrestling community, so the World Wrestling Federation quickly fired both of them. Wrestlers may have sad things happen in their lives, but not everything sad that happens to them is because of wrestling. The Iron Sheik experienced a terrible thing that can happen to a parent, as reported by Yahoo Sports. Somebody killed his daughter. Marissa Vaziri was killed by her boyfriend, Charles Warren Reynolds, on May 3, 2003. He strangled her to death. She was 27. Bleacher Report says that the killer committed the crime after a party and told the police that the victim was a good girl but wouldn't calm down. Marissa's passing was a significant loss for the Sheik, and he felt powerless to prevent it. His wife later said that he was a strong man whom everyone had depended on for a long time. He couldn't save her in this situation. He felt really sad that he wasn't able to be there and help her. The Iron Sheik planned to take revenge using a razor blade. According to Bleacher Report, the murder of Iron Sheik's daughter in 2003 was a very difficult time for the wrestling star. He was very sad and angry, and it made him want to hurt the person who caused it. When he went to the trial of the person who did it, Charles Warren Reynolds, he hid a razor blade in his mouth to try to kill him. Luckily, the wrestler's wife, Carol, knew about his plans and was aware that the Sheik might try to fight the officials to carry out his plans. Sheik focused on his sport and religion, so he didn't engage in physical pleasures as early as others. He didn't start using alcohol or drugs until he got involved in pro wrestling and saw that many wrestlers were using them. The Sheik was known for getting drunk and causing trouble. He would even hide drugs in his fellow wrestlers' clothes or throw them onto hotel beds. The Sheik tried to stop his bad habits sometimes, but he often went back to them. His bad habits also affected his personal life. He had a time when he drank too much and got a small heart attack. His wife left him for a while because of his drug use. The Sheik was a famous wrestler and social media personality known for his loud and aggressive behavior that attracted many fans over the years. Vaziri has paid a very high price for his career. His life was difficult from the start, and as he became more famous, he faced more problems and bad luck. The Sheik died on June 7, 2023. He was 81 years old. That's all for today's video, but we'll be right back with more soon. Don't forget to give this one a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Subscribe.